Okay, let's also talk about the primary market and Thyrocare IPO, which kickstarts today. So let's chat with the management exclusively right here on ET Now and get a flavor of what the company is all about, what it intends to do, and whether you should be going out there and subscribing to this fresh paper or not. A. Velumani, Chairman and CEO and MD at Thyrocare Technologies, joins us on the show right now. Mr. Velumani, how is the response for the anchor book and who are the investors and at what price have they come in?
The anchor book size was 144 crores and the upper band was rupees 446 per share. We could get a impressive demand almost for 20 times the actual book size, and we had a comfort of 20 people asking for the entire book. So it was in fact a problem of plenty. So we have finalized 15 anchors and it got subscribed at the highest bandwidth.
So what are the growth drivers for your business?
The laboratory business itself is still a big business with a huge unorganized market around. Around 80% of the market today is unorganized. So we do see in the laboratory business is itself a good growth. Around 16% industry growth is expected, and around 18% to 20% organized players will grow, and the top 25 players should be doing anywhere around 30% plus or minus 5%. So the laboratory business itself has substantial growth to chase. Having said that, we are keen to identify ourselves as leaders in preventive care. We have our brand Aarogyam, on which we have put a lot of emphasis, and today we have 50% of our total revenues coming from Aarogyam alone, and I have a reason to believe by year 2020 this could even be 80% of our total revenue. So Aarogyam is going to remain as the next 5 years product of focus. We have embarked on nuclear, where it's a bit of a high capex business, but I have a reason to believe in the long run it will produce huge profits. And it is cancer diagnosis, and we have embarked there probably by year 2020 that could be contributing substantially for the profitability. We have also got into water testing, which is still at the preliminary stage. We have only finished an year and we have done 1 crore revenue, and it should grow very well, and in the next decade that should be substantially contributing for the profit.
Right. Tell us about your profitability matrix as well for your preventive care business.
I think preventive care, since not many players have focused in it, we have a comfort. Since we have large volume operators, we have a pricing comfort. Probably we are the cheapest on this country, when India itself is cheapest in healthcare in the entire world. Still we have a profitability margins of 60% in preventive care packages which we have packaged, and we have a comfort of even going low in those rates, but I think as long as the growth is there, we would continue to retain the profitabilities and would sacrifice at a time when that would be essential.
Cancer diagnosis, largely oncology, is a big growth area for you. Can you tell us more about how long is this opportunity?
Be it laboratory business or the cancer business, which is radiology business, the principle is simple. In laboratory, plenty of operators buy a machine and run it for an hour or two and they keep it closed. We buy the same machine and run it for 20 plus hours, and we have created a prosperity and a wonderful balance sheet. Same is happening in the nuclear segment. 100 scanners are in the country, and on an average 6 to 7 scans only people are utilizing it for. I have a reason to believe when we do 25 scans a day, it would be a great balance sheet, and it can easily do 30 scans per day. So the objective is, don't keep the scanner standing, keep it running. And I have a reason to believe when the radiology business matches in the top line with that of the pathology business, there will be a better EBITDA percentage, because the operating costs are much lesser, only the capex is bit higher. So I have got into it with an objective of putting in 40 scanners across the country, but it would take time because the market would also take time to mature.
Right. What about your B2B center count and the expansion plans thereof?
No, I think I opted to do a B2B business from the very word go. For me, I am good at kitchen management. I am probably not very good at restaurant management. Both are very different sciences. So we felt that leave that job of procuring specimen to the franchises and focus on the processing, where I think we made a lot of sense because our costs are known well. Our operational efficiencies can be enhanced well, and today we have a good balance sheet only because we have outsourced the procuring work to the franchisee network. It has its own merit, its own demerits. India is a very vast country, billion population. It's not same language, it's 25 different languages, cultures. So we felt this kind of a franchisee model will make the business localized for the localized needs of the market, and yet we would get to the kitchen adequate number of specimen to do the volume business, and I think it would continue. Today we have around 1200 franchises. That also would grow probably 10% year over year, but we might go even bit more conservative because too many may not be too good, and ideal is to look at right cities and put right kind of numbers.
Okay, Mr. Venumali, good chatting with you. Thank you so much for taking time out and speaking exclusively with us the day your IPO kickstarts. That's ThyroCare, and